Oh hey. Verlene here, still reporting from an undisclosed location due to the many threats I continue to receive. Oh, I'm just kidding. Nobody is going to hurt a 96-year-old lady, even Sissy Cleo. It's almost Halloween and I like dressing up. As predicted, Sharon is likely returning. Never mind that she said she would never be back.
I've made my decision and I have to stick to it. If it's the last thing I do on YouTube, it'll be to prove them wrong. It'll be to prove them wrong.
Hey guys, I might be back.
We all knew she couldn't escape the addiction of a few unsavory men drooling at her camel toes, or the addiction of her many friends online, who will always butter her biscuit. Did she lose her big fancy job filling out surveys? That had to have paid well. No telling if she can keep up Survey Monkey plus YouTube. Time will tell, and Verlene and Friends will be watching, and reporting back to you. What if I started a GoFundMe for Sharon? Unless something has changed, the poor woman is still without a home of her own. In most circles, they call that homeless, but thank goddess she's not living in her car or under a bridge. She always has the safety net of her twin sister and her ex-husband. What were the reasons Sharon gave for leaving YouTube? Let's go over them.
And it pays me more than YouTube does. That it's emotionally healthier for you to be doing this other job instead of day in, day out YouTube. And it is so much. And that's the only reason that I started looking for another job. Well, that's not the only reason, but partly the reason that I started looking for another job, that I started to pull away from YouTube a little bit, or a lot of it. Get a person saying, how much they care about my mother and my sisters and, my grandchildren, but then I get the same person, and I know it's the same person, that's dogging me out and talking about me, my kids, and my grandchildren on this site, on this god-awful site. The Gossip Bakery. 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 The Gossip Bakery.
I have a suggestion for Sharon, and this is serious talk. You say you want a safe space where it can be just you and your many friends you've made on YouTube. There is an option on YouTube to do a members-only live chat. You could ask who wants to be a member, do not charge, but require an email address. And only allow those you actually know. If you only know them through nice comments and are not entirely sure, then request a private FaceTime chat with them. I'm sure your superfans would be willing to do that in order to join your special group. That way you know who they are, and you get a phone number. Over time, you could add a few members here and there, but keep the group limited to your closest YouTube friends. Oh, and grow a thicker skin. What's the point of being a friend if they can't be honest with you? I'm not an insider, but based on what you've said, one of your friends wrote you an email and told you some things you didn't like. That seemingly resulted in a war. Both sides were likely guilty, and that means you too. You talk a good game about wanting honesty, but you don't mean that. You need to change yourself and mean it. Accept criticism. Get in therapy and learn to accept criticism. Maybe that's why you don't stay in therapy, because they tell you things you don't want to hear. If all you want is a cheering squad and never a drop of criticism, then tell your private group to never say a negative word. And keep it private, only limited to a select handful of people. Of course you're not going to make money on this unless you can convince these people to pay a monthly fee to be your private YouTube friend. Accept that you aren't perfect, and that people will comment about that. The only way you can stop all comments is to live in a cave. I am not victim blaming, but take yourself from this pitiful poor me victim, and become a survivor. I'm going to put a link to a book that I think is helpful when trying to overcome trauma and improve your core self. I don't make anything from the link. Survivor, not victim. It's never too late to change.